Imagine waking up, unable to move or speak, sensing an ominous presence lurking in the shadows. This is not a scene from a horror movie, but a very real and terrifying experience known as sleep paralysis. In the dead of night, when the world is silent and you're at your most vulnerable, sleep paralysis strikes. It's a phenomenon as old as time, where the victim finds themselves trapped in their own body, unable to move or cry for help. A sense of dread fills the room as the unseen terror takes hold. The air grows thick, your heart races, and you're suffocated by fear itself. Sleep paralysis is not just a medical phenomenon. It's a gateway into the realm of the supernatural, a bridge between our world and the one that lies just beyond our perception. Throughout history and across cultures, these episodes have been linked to paranormal experiences. Some speak of spectral figures, others whisper of demonic possession, and there are those who believe it's an encounter with beings from another dimension. In the ancient times, sleep paralysis was considered a visitation by malevolent spirits. The Hmong people of Southeast Asia believed that a tsog tsuam, a spirit, would sit on the chest of the sleeping, causing the paralysis. In the folklore of Newfoundland, it was the old hag who would come in the night and sit upon the sleeper's chest. The Japanese speak of kanashibari, a state where one is bound or tied up by a malevolent force. These tales paint a picture of a world that exists in the shadows, a world that we touch upon in our most vulnerable state. It's a terrifying thought, but one that's steeped in our collective consciousness, a shared fear that transcends cultural and geographical boundaries. So, as we delve deeper into this chilling phenomenon, remember this. In the realm of sleep paralysis, reality and nightmare often blur into one. For some, these immobilized moments are far from lonely. There's a chilling consensus among many who've endured the grip of sleep paralysis, a sense that they're not alone. The room may be pitch black, the house may be silent, but there's a presence, something or someone lurking at the edge of their perception. Take, for instance, the account of a woman from Ohio. She woke up, unable to move, in the dead of night. She could sense a figure standing in the corner of her room. Even though she couldn't see it, she could feel its eyes boring into her. She described it as a feeling of pure evil, like nothing she'd ever felt before. Then there's the story of a man from California who experienced sleep paralysis regularly. In his episodes, he would see shadowy figures moving around his room. Once he even witnessed an apparition of a woman, dressed in white, who would silently watch him from the foot of his bed. He could do nothing but lay there frozen as these figures moved around him. There are thousands of tales like these, each uniquely terrifying. Some people report feeling a crushing weight on their chest, as if something is holding them down. Others describe hearing whispering voices, laughter, or even music that seems to come from nowhere. And then there are those who experience something even more unsettling. Imagine waking up, unable to move and feeling a touch. A brush of something against your skin, a hand resting on your shoulder, a breath against your cheek. These experiences too have been reported by sleep paralysis sufferers. These tales are bone-chilling, but are they merely hallucinations or something more? Our understanding of the world tells us that these experiences are the result of a mind caught between sleep and wakefulness. But for those who've lived through them, they're as real as anything else in their lives. The fear, the dread, the sense of an unseen presence, these are not easily dismissed. These tales are bone-chilling, but are they merely hallucinations or something more? Is it simply our brains playing tricks on us? Or is there a darker, more paranormal explanation? As we delve deeper into the world of sleep paralysis, these are the questions that linger, leaving us to ponder the mysteries of the night. Among the visitors reported during sleep paralysis, none are as common as the shadow people. Picture this. You're in a state of half sleep, half wakefulness. Your body is frozen, your mind is alert, and suddenly, out of the corner of your eye, you see them. Dark, shadowy figures, lurking at the periphery of your vision. They're known as the shadow people, an all too familiar presence for those who've experienced sleep paralysis. The shadow people come in many forms. Some describe them as tall, wraith-like figures, others as hooded beings. Some say they have red glowing eyes, while others insist they're simply amorphous, dark masses. Regardless of their form, one common thread runs through all these encounters, an overwhelming sense of fear. This fear is not simply the anxiety of being unable to move. It's a primal terror, the kind that makes your heart pound and your breath hitch. It's the fear of knowing you're not alone, of feeling watched by something you can't quite see. So who are these shadow people? Theories abound. Skeptics argue that they're nothing more than hallucinations, a byproduct of our brains misfiring in a state of sleep paralysis. Others, however, believe there's something more, something perhaps not of this world. Some posit that these entities are interdimensional beings, slipping through the thin veil between our reality and theirs. Others suggest they're manifestations of our own subconscious fears, given form in the half-light of sleep paralysis. And then there are those who believe they're spirits or ghosts, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Each theory is more chilling than the last, each lending a unique lens through which to view these shadowy visitors. But no matter the explanation, the fact remains. For those who've seen them, the shadow people are terrifyingly real. Another terrifying encounter during sleep paralysis is with the old hag. This phenomenon, known as the old hag syndrome, is a petrifying experience that has been reported by people across the globe. The old hag syndrome is so named due to the recurring description of a supernatural entity resembling an old witch or hag that sits on the chest of the paralyzed sleeper, inducing a sensation of suffocation. The term originates from the folklore of Newfoundland, where the old hag was seen as a witch who could leave her body at night and sit on the chest of her victims, rendering them immobile. This eerie entity isn't exclusive to Newfoundland, though. Similar experiences have been documented in various cultures, each attributing the phenomenon to a different supernatural being. In Japan, it's called kanashibari, a term that refers to being magically bound by a ghost or spirit. In Scandinavian folklore, it's the Mara, a malevolent spirit that rides on people's chests while they sleep. Numerous real-life accounts detail the horrifying experience of the old hag. Victims often describe waking up, unable to move, with a sense of an ominous presence in the room. They feel an intense pressure on their chest, as if a heavy weight is pressing down on them. Some even report seeing a shadowy figure, often resembling a haggard old woman, hovering near or sitting on their chest. The terror is palpable, the fear is real, and the struggle to break free from the paralysis is intense. Despite its roots in the folklore and mythology of various cultures, modern science suggests that the old hag syndrome is a manifestation of our deepest fears during sleep paralysis. Our brain, caught between the states of wakefulness and sleep, conjures up these terrifying visions, turning our subconscious fears into palpable experiences. So the question remains, the old hag, a nightmarish folklore come to life, or the mind playing tricks in the dark? As we delve deeper into the world of sleep paralysis, the line between reality and the paranormal becomes increasingly blurred. Science, however, offers a less supernatural explanation. As we delve into the realm of sleep and dreams, we come across a phase called rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, a stage where our most vivid dreams occur. Here, our brain activity is remarkably similar to that of being awake. During REM sleep, our brain employs a safety mechanism known as rematonia. This fascinating biological feature temporarily paralyzes our voluntary muscles, preventing us from physically acting out our dreams and potentially harming ourselves. Imagine, if you will, acting out a dream of running or fighting in reality while you're tucked up safe in bed. It could be quite disastrous. But what happens when this function glitches? What if you wake up, but this paralysis persists? This, dear listeners, is the scientific basis of sleep paralysis. Our sleep is not a single, unbroken phase, but a cycle of various stages, including REM and non-REM sleep. We cycle through these stages multiple times during a night's rest. Sleep paralysis typically occurs when transitions between these stages get disrupted, particularly when moving in or out of REM sleep. Factors such as irregular sleep schedules, sleep deprivation, stress, and certain types of medication can disrupt these transitions, leading to instances of sleep paralysis. In essence, your mind wakes up, but your body remains in a state of REM-induced paralysis, leaving you temporarily unable to move or speak. This paralysis, coupled with the semi-dream state of your brain, can lead to hallucinations. Your brain, still partially in dream mode, projects your dreams onto reality, resulting in the terrifying visions associated with sleep paralysis. So, while the shadowy figures and malevolent entities may not be physically real, your brain perceives them as such, making the experience frighteningly authentic. Science might have an explanation, but can it explain all the strange encounters during sleep paralysis? As we peel away the layers of sleep paralysis, we find ourselves standing on the edge of a fascinating intersection where science meets the unexplained. Sleep paralysis can be terrifying, but there are ways to cope. Imagine you're caught in the grip of sleep paralysis. You're in a twilight world, unable to move, unable to scream, and all too aware of the unseen terror lurking at the edges of your consciousness. But don't despair. There are strategies you can employ to reclaim control, to push back the shadows and regain your peace of mind. Firstly, you should know that trying to fight the paralysis can often make the experience more distressing. Instead, focus on calming your mind. Some individuals find concentrating on moving just a small part of their body, like a toe or a finger, can help break the paralysis. Others recommend focusing on your breath, taking slow, deep inhalations and exhaling gradually. This can help to reduce the panic and may even help bring the episode to an end. Moreover, it's important to remember that sleep paralysis, terrifying as it may be, is a natural phenomenon. It's your body's way of protecting you from acting out your dreams. Understanding this can help you to stay calm during an episode. Lifestyle changes can also play a significant role in preventing sleep paralysis. Establishing a regular sleep schedule, avoiding heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol before bed, and creating a sleep-friendly environment can do wonders. Regular exercise can also help, but try to avoid vigorous workouts close to bedtime. If you're experiencing sleep paralysis frequently, or if it's causing you significant distress, it's important to consult a professional. Sleep specialists, psychologists, and psychiatrists all have tools and techniques to help you cope with and potentially reduce the occurrence of sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis can be an unnerving experience, but remember, you're not alone. Many people worldwide experience these episodes, and they've found ways to cope and carry on. It's a journey, and just as with any journey, it's easier when you're equipped with knowledge and strategies. Knowing how to navigate sleep paralysis can turn a night of terror into just a bump in the night. Sleep paralysis, a terrifying ordeal or a doorway to the paranormal? We've traversed the shadowy corridors of mystery, exploring the unseen terror that grips countless people in the dead of night. We've peered into the chilling visitations, the shadow people, and the old hag syndrome, all seemingly phantasmal manifestations that some believe are more than mere figments of our imagination. We revisited the harrowing tales of those who've experienced the immobilizing fear of sleep paralysis, the spectral figures, the oppressive weight on their chests, the helpless terror. These are not just stories, they're real experiences etched into the minds of those who've been through these nocturnal nightmares. Yet these spectral visitations are not limited to any one culture, time, or place. From the shadow people, seen as malevolent watchers in the corners of our rooms, to the old hag syndrome, a universal phenomenon where an evil crone is perceived to be suffocating the sleeper. These experiences are eerily similar across the globe. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? That our most private sanctum, our place of rest, can seemingly be invaded by entities from another realm. We've also delved into the scientific explanations behind sleep paralysis, the REM sleep interruption, the hypnagogic and hypnopompic hallucinations, the brain's fight or flight response going haywire. It's fascinating how our own bodies can conjure such terrifying experiences, but does science have all the answers, or is there room for the paranormal in these midnight terrors? One can't help but wonder, are these just hallucinations, or are we, in our most vulnerable state, brushing against the fringes of another realm? A realm where shadow people reside, where the old hag lurks waiting for her next victim. Are we, during these paralyzing moments, catching a glimpse of the paranormal? But no matter the cause, the effect is real. The terror is real. And that's why it's crucial to know how to cope with sleep paralysis. We've discussed techniques such as regulating sleep patterns, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and seeking professional help when needed. Remember, it's important to take care of your mental health as much as your physical health. As we conclude, we leave you with more questions than answers. That's the nature of the paranormal, isn't it? The more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover. The mysteries surrounding sleep paralysis continue to intrigue and terrify us. Sleep tight, and remember, the next time you wake up unable to move, you're not alone. Whether it's the product of our mind's fears or a brush with the paranormal world, remember, knowledge is power, and you are not powerless.